Warm welcome to all of you. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. And before I go on and start a new chapter, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Poonam Babbar, and from now on I will be taking your social studies. And today we're going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 3 of geography, that is our changing earth. I would request all of you to please sit with your book and your stationery available at your side, so that you can keep marking the important points in the book as well as keep noting the important points. So to begin this, have you ever noticed a change around yourself? Like if I say, do you observe any kind of change which happenings around you? Think. I just wanted you to think. Have you seen any kind of changes that occur nearby your place where you live in? Okay, I'm expecting answer from you like, ma'am, there used to be a farm which has now converted into a concrete jungle. This has now a big society, and here we saw earlier we used to see a big road here which is now narrowed down, and so on like that. So I'm expecting this kind of changes that you are thinking about. But today I'm not going to talk about any of these kind of changes. Today I'm talking about the changes which happening in earth, within the earth crust and within the surface of the earth, and those changes we could not able to observe it because those changes take years, millions of years to occur, to take place. So today in this chapter we will be studying about the endogenic and exogenic changes. It's endo means inside, exo means outside, genic means origin. So the origin of the changes which happen inside the earth is called endogenic for changes and movement, and expo is the the changes and the movement which happens on the surface of the earth, that is called expo, that is outside the earth crust on the surface of the earth, and exogenic. So endogenic and exogenic. So today we're going to talk about these two changes, and in order to understand the exogenic and the endogenic changes, it's very important to first understand the lithospheric structure that we have. So now let's talk about what is lithospheric plates. The lithospheric is broken into numbers of plate known as lithospheric plate. The earth crust consists of several large and small rigid irregularly shaped plate, that is called slabs, which carry continent and the ocean floor. So like we see earth, we have 7 continents in total, and earth is earth crust. The lithospheric is what? It's the topmost layer of the earth where we live. We live in the lithosphere. So this sphere, the lithosphere, which is the topmost layer of the earth or the surface that we live in, these lithospheric plates, earth has around 7 lithospheric plates. So since now we're very clear about what is lithospheric plate, lithospheric plate are also called as tectonic plates. And now let's see, if I say that when the land that you are standing or sitting on is moving, you will not believe me, right? But it's true. The land that we live in, it's constantly moving, and this is what we're going to study here in this chapter. It's very slow because it's move 1 millimeter in a year, so it's so slow that we cannot recognize or really feel it or realize it. But yes, it's keep moving, and I explain you how this happened. To understand the movement of this lithospheric plates, it's very important to first understand the structure. Millions of years ago, Earth doesn't look like what we see it today. It has undergone a gradual but a long and a big changes before what we see at present. So it took millions of years for this gradual changes to happen or take place here on the earth. and this is what we're going to study here. I'm talking about the continental drift theory, which was explained by Alfred Wegener, who was the German geoscientist. In 1912, he explained in his book about the continental drift theory. According to his theory, he proposed that earlier Earth was a big landmass. It is a single landmass which get disintegrated into two, and then it get disintegrated till it reached to the present date. So now today at this point we have 7 tectonic plates. Tectonic plates are also known as the lithospheric plates, which is a slab which is floating on the Earth's surface. It's above the molten magma, and we have 7 tectonic plates, and name them. We have a Pacific plate, we have North American plate, we have Indo-Australian plate, we have Antarctic plate, we have African plate, we have Eurasian plate, we have South American plate. So in total we have 7 slabs. Slabs are the tectonic plates on which all ocean and continent flow, which carries all the ocean and continental flow. So these tectonic plates keep moving, and the reason why they move, it's because of the molten magma, which is under the, as I explained you, okay, we live here. This is the topmost layer of the Earth, and this is lithosphere. Okay, this is lithosphere, the topmost layer. Okay, this is 35 kilometer thick, and beneath this we have mantle, which is 2900 kilometers thick. Can you imagine the thickness? 2900 kilometers, and it has around 877 to 2200 degrees Celsius temperature. This is a temperature, okay, and it has a molten magma. So this is a kind of pot, and this topmost layer has 7 tectonic plates, okay, irregular in size, small, big. And this is a molten magma, and this has a huge temperature, and it keeps generating a heat, and because of heat these slabs move, and this slab continuously moves, and sometimes they come closer, sometimes 2 slabs came closer, then we feel earthquake, sometimes they get just away. So these movements constantly happening inside the Earth. So these are called endogenic movement. Sudden movements are earthquake, and volcano is also one of the example of endogenic movement. And today we're going to read about this. And due to huge heat generated by the molten magma, these slabs keep moving. So in this chapter we will be covering Earth movement, that is endogenic. In endogenic we have sudden forces. In sudden forces, earthquake, volcano, landslide comes. And in this disastrophic forces, sudden and disastrophic forces, this comes a building of mountain. We have here 3 movement. One is the convergent, divergent, and the transform movement. In convergent movement, when 2 tectonic plates come together, come closer to each other, when they collide, they give rise to a mountain, fold mountain. And in divergent movement, when 2 plates get away from each other, and they resulted in the rift valley. And the transformed movement is the one where when 2 plates get horizontally collide with each other, they result in the earthquake and the volcano. So in this these have 3 movements, and further on we will go on and discuss about the exogenic, which is erosional and depositional. And in this we will be studying about the role of river, wind, sea, sea waves and glaciers. So we'll take up this later, and now we will start with the volcano. Volcano, and it's very important to understand the kind of volcano are there. How many type of volcanoes are there? There are 3 type of volcano. One is the active volcano, which erupt frequently, which has a history of erupting frequently. And for example, is a Stromboli in Italy is the active volcano example. And dormant volcanoes are the one who we also call them a sleeping volcano, which has not erupted for a long time. We call them a sleeping volcano. The third one, we have a extinct volcano. It has no record of eruption so far in history. Also, they have not erupted for once, and there is no likelihood that they're going to erupt in future as well. So these are also known as the dead volcano. And Mount Kilimanjaro and Kenya in Africa is the extinct volcano example. So now we will be learning about the structure of volcano. You can see on page number, you can see if you have old book, you can see it on page number 13. There's a diagram given. Okay, I'll tell you. Here's this one, this diagram. So this diagram is given. You can see here. I'll show you here. Okay, I will rub this. You can see here it's mantle, and this is the earth crust. Okay, and here you can see this this mountain kind of thing, and it goes like this. These are the, and here is the volcano, and the opening of the volcano. I'm very bad in making drawings, okay, so don't laugh at me. It's just to give you an idea, okay. The opening of this vent is called crater, okay, and the opening of this vent is called crater, and these you can see it's kind of pipe which is carrying the magma towards the volcano, towards upward. These are called vent, which carry magma, and it has lava in it. These vent has lava, okay, and when it erupts, what comes out? Gases and dust and ashes. So this is what comes out of the volcano. This is crust, this is crust, this is mantle, okay, and it is a magma chamber. So this is a magma chamber. Now you can see it right in your book. This is called crater. The opening of the volcano is called crater, where the gases, dust and ashes comes out, and the pipe kind of thing which carries the lava in it. When it's inside the earth, it's called magma. When it's on the surface of the earth, it's called lava. And it's a earth crust. It's a earth crust, and it's a mantle, and it's a magma chamber. You can see right in your book. Okay? We understand this diagram? And the one which is going here, it's called main vent. Ashes and cloud. So now, importance of volcano. Volcano in a way is very destructive. It's a threat to life in the property. However, in other way, because that result in the when there's a volcanic eruption, there we can notice a lot of fire in the forest if it's a forest nearby, and with the people residing nearby, they have to leave their property, they have to just go run away because it's a threat to life in their property also. And in other way, if we see that volcanic eruption, the volcanoes are useful also, because today whatever landmass we see it is a outcome of this volcanic eruption, because the lava which is coming out of the land, when it's cooled down, it turns into igneous rock, and that forms the land. And that forms the land. That is more important thing, that today whatever land we have is because of the volcanic eruption. You have already read this about the volcano in the previous chapter, so I'm not going deep into it. So it's important. So we covered the importance as well. That's all from my end. I hope you all enjoyed learning what I had taught you today, because it's a very interesting topic, knowing about your earth, your tectonic plates and earthquake, volcanoes. This is so much fascinating. I really enjoy learning about all this, and I hope you do enjoy learning that. And in next chapter we will be taking up the exogenic forces, and we have done endogenic, we done completing this, and now we'll be taking the exogenic forces in the next chapter, and we will be finishing our chapter in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself, your family, wear masks wherever you go, and stay healthy, stay safe, stay in home. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay in home. Take care. Bye-bye.